Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Palace. Thank you for our Wednesday morning coffee talk show corporate segment. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you all woke up feeling grateful, in a fantastic mood, because the fact that you are breathing, honey, is a blessing in and of itself. And that means God is not through with you and you still got some stuff to do, y'all, even if you gotta go to work. Mama V, thank you for letting me know I'm coming through loud and clear. Y'all make sure y'all show my moderators some love. We got Toot Latrice in the building, Toot Beat Beat, honey, and Linda Gamble, y'all. They are holding it down at the Palace Gates. And we always appreciate these ladies showing up, rain, sleet, or snow, honey. And they not only hold it down for us in the Palace, but they hold it down in the YouTube streets, period, point blank. So we just want to make sure we show them some love. And y'all, I hope y'all woke up feeling good today. You're almost there for those of you that are in states or cities that have not been hit by weather, because we're getting our asses handed to us down here in Texas. So that's what it is. But one hurricane does not stop no show. So Burrow, go on about your business and leave us native Texans alone, because we got some shit to do on this beautiful Wednesday morning. And that's what we are showing up to do. And I am just so happy, y'all. I got some good stuff for y'all today. I'm about to make a drop. Y'all better turn those notifications on, because, baby, we are not playing here in the Palace. And let me tell you something, your mouth is going to be on the floor. So set those notifications right now. And the way you got to set them, let me tell you, the way you got to set them is you got to click. Don't click personal, because YouTube will not notify you of everything that I drop if it's not according to your personal digital right? Footprint, like your footprint of your behavior. So the way it works is YouTube tracks what you typically like and what you don't like. If you do not want to miss what I'm about to drop today, trust me, you need to select for subscription notices, select all. Don't select personal because it'll cut you out of some stuff. Baby, we coming in hot today. You know I'm always working behind the scenes. But enough of that. Listen, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I see the network specialist in the house. I see here and more. Look at Shirley. Yes. Well, Shirley, I'm not a political. Shirley says, you have a public genre. Please use it to talk about saving freedom in our country. You know what? I'm going to leave that for people that do a little bit better. See, here's the thing. You got to be true to your calling. And that's not my calling. I've never really taken like a huge interest. I'm going to keep it real in politics, not even in school, y'all. And not to say that it's not important to me, but there are other people that do a way better job. And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying, on platforms like this. There's so many YouTubers that you can find in the algorithm that cover. So I stay out of wheelhouses that I'm not good at. So I think that would be a detriment to myself and also a detriment to you as a viewer, because I would not do it justice, but I do appreciate the recommendation. I really do. But y'all, I don't think I would be, I don't know. I think I will mess up some politics. I'm going to go and keep it real. Y'all be like, what the hell? Now, Queen Sheba, that ain't right. I think I would mess up some politics. I ain't going to even do that to y'all. I'll be like, so that the man y'all be like, a man, that's the president. I'm keeping it real. I'm one of those people, look, I'm coming to the altar as I am, honey. I'm not going to pretend that I can cover everything because I can't. You know, I'm not well-rounded in every area, but I do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And Miss Shirley, I hope you can find some channels that can give you that. But over here, I don't know. I'm on a whole different wavelength. Hell, I need to go and peruse some channels. Trending at some point says, yes, be true to your calling. Yep, I agree. Otherwise, you I don't know. The audience is going to look at you like, now, you know damn well you ain't supposed to be talking about politics. Look at you. You don't even know what you're talking about. That bill was in 1994, not 2004. So let me stay over here, Miss Shirley. Let me stay over here, child. As a matter of fact, let me take a sip of my coffee because Miss Shirley done woke me up with that one. What y'all sipping on today? As far as your cream and your coffee before we get this show on the road. Y'all, I got to tell y'all some stuff. Listen, what y'all sipping on? Okay, there we go, Miss Shirley. Cinnamon Swirl Impactful Conversations is going to be talking about politics. So make sure when she starts her channel that you subscribe. Miss Shirley, go ahead and screenshot that. She's going to be talking about politics. Good morning, the Aset Noir. She says, good morning, Queen, and everybody headed into the office. Y'all, listen, I need y'all to check in with me real quick. If you have to commute to work, go ahead and show us a little bit of love from traffic. Traffic, y'all, whatever that morning commute is. Hold on. What y'all doing? That's the wrong one, child. There we go. There we go. Baby, they are headed into the office. You are almost there. Hold on tight, the Aset Noir, and everybody else that's commuting in, baby. It is hump day. Y'all should be planning happy hour after work. Don't be getting stuck in no boring ass routine throughout the work week. You know how we were trained as kids. It's a school night. We don't go nowhere on a school night. Not over here. Y'all better do something nice for yourselves on a weekday. Don't be just living for the weekend. Don't just be living for the weekend. Terry T Baby for Life is sipping on some iced coffee. Now, I never understood that phenomenon. I'm sorry, Terry. Iced coffee. Why in the hell would y'all put ice in coffee? Why would y'all put ice in coffee? Somebody explain. That's like warming up ice cream. Somebody explain the iced coffee phenomenon, because I've never gotten into it. That's like warming up your ice cream. Who warms up ice cream? Who warms up ice cream? Not I. Yes. But listen, okay, so we're going to move on to our check-in. If this is your first time with the Palace, welcome on Wednesday morning corporate segment. Y'all, you know, we talk all things corporate America over here. I'm going to drop the link here shortly. But before we do, we like to do a check-in. Now, wait. For those of you that are Y'all know what's coming. Don't be jumping the gun because I ain't asked you yet. But I want you to take a couple of seconds. Go ahead and do a mental check. How are you feeling? I need that one word, honey. I need it to be meaningful. I need you to keep it real. How are you feeling, or what are you trying to feel at the end of this segment? Keep it real. Drop it in the chat. Let me see what we coming up with. Drop it in the chat, and let me see what y'all out here working with, because we don't want nobody going to the office in no badass mood. Not today. Hold on. Let me see what y'all working with. Okay, Miss Tiff, she says, girl, you got to try it. I love it frozen with the king. I'm snatching black cards today. If you put ice in your coffee, I am snatching black cards today. Terry T, baby for life, your black card has been revoked. Miss Tiff Tigress, your black card has been revoked. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Your black cards have been revoked. Yep. We've revoked Terry T, baby, so she's not eligible for reinstatement. Her and Tip Tigers are not eligible for reinstatement until August 1st. August 1st is when they can reapply to the palace for their black cards. Okay, Simply Beautiful says, I love the, okay, your black card has been revoked. Simply Beautiful, Terry T Baby for Life, Tiffany Tigress, you are not eligible to redeem your black card or have it reinstated until August 1st, 2024. Thank you. All right, so we got a lot of one words coming in. I'm seeing, let's see, rested. That's a good place to be. I am blessed. She's feeling rested. We got focused. We got relaxed from Angel, drowsy. Tiffany's feeling blessed, even after losing her black card. Cricket 22, we got a lot of blessed coming in. We got blessed. We got grateful, y'all. We got locked in. What that mean? May, June, and July? What that mean? Always be cute is feeling relaxed. I love it. Debbie is feeling peace. Now, Debbie, I said one word. You said peace, be still. Listen, Cinnamon Swirl did the same thing with 3 words. She's feeling inspired. Mama V is feeling rested. We got Purple Queen feeling grateful. Oh, we got some really good words. Thankful. I got a good thankful. I like that, Lavinia. I like it. Energetic. You going for a walk? You gonna work out today? You gonna utilize that energy well? Because listen, we moving over here in the palace. Y'all already know I dropped a walking regimen. I'm dropping an 8-week program, y'all, where you can lose anywhere between 10 to 15 pounds. It is behind the wall. It costs you absolutely nothing. And guess what? You can spin the block on weeks 1 through 2 if you're not ready to go to week 3 through 4. We're actually in week number 4. Yep. Erie Aquarius is feeling encouraged. We got happy. Now, y'all not going to come up in here to my child feeling tired. Look at these. Okay, I got one Aquarius that's feeling encouraged. The other one is feeling tired. Sandra is feeling outstanding. We got driven. Let me go to the bottom. Let's see what y'all coming in. Empowered. I love it. Determined. Strong men and women coming in. Listen, let me get one more. Grounded. I like to hear more about that. Protecting your peace. Is that the outcome of protecting your peace? Feeling grounded. You're going to have to tell us more about that. Now we are going to shift, y'all, into the financial wellness segment. Y'all probably are not going to like what I have to say. I'm going to just go ahead and put that disclaimer out there on today's morning show. Listen, you may not like what I am about to say, but please, no matter what I say, I'm just asking y'all to please don't boo me. Don't boo me, please. Because I'm going to talk about the good old American dream. Yeah, the good old American dream. Okay. Now, when you think about the American dream, let me ask y'all something. This is the financial wellness segment. What comes to mind? What are you taught to do when it comes to the American dream? I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what y'all coming through with. And I'm going to tell you something that may upset some people. Yep. What comes to mind when you think about the American dream? Everything that people pushing to you to achieve. The American dream. What is it? The ideal that every citizen of the United States should have equal opportunity to achieve success and prosperity through hard work, determination, and initiative. Now, what does that translate into when we think about tangible items? A house, a car, a this, a that, but primarily homes, because don't you feel like you've made it when you've gotten your own house? Yeah. Okay. Financial stabilization. Auntie says a white picket fence, kids. Boom. Deborah Valentine, I'm going to roll with you. Owning a home. Bam. Listen. So I took Melody Cherie's property preservation course, and doing property preservation has actually made me sad. Oh, yeah. It's actually made me sad. I'm going to tell you why.
Wow.
Hold on now.
Wow.
I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Well, hold on, sir. Now listen. When I go and I walk into these properties, I'm actually dealing on the side of foreclosures. Foreclosures, okay? Where people have not been able to afford these homes. And what y'all, these big, beautiful homes, homes that people have had for years. And I'm talking about, in some situations, you may be living from check to check. And one thing that happens in life, we call it a real life event, could completely cause you to lose your home. And I was in a house yesterday, y'all. I got assigned a new home and I walked in. I'm going to tell you this. Those people were not ready to leave. You can tell those people had not planned to lose their home. Now, I don't know what the payment situation was, but the point is, whenever them sheriffs came, now this was not an eviction, not to be confused with an eviction. I think the eviction had already taken place before I got there, but you could tell, y'all, by the stuff that was left in the house. You could tell those people were trying to get as much as they could out. They had shit in bags. Beds were still in the house, clothes, everything in the bathroom, rugs, clippers out. Like literally, they were not expecting to be put out that day. Okay. And you know what I thought about? Said, we get sold. I think it's a trick. We get sold the idea of the American dream. Now, like Deborah Valentine says, owning a home, when in reality, most of us cannot afford to own a home. It's too expensive. So as I was sitting there going through those people, room to room to room, I said, I want to know the story. I mean, nice shoes, nice clothes still left in the house, beautiful sofa, food had rotten. I'm like, I need to know the story. I could tell it was a Black family. I was like, man, if these walls could talk. Biggest house on the block, corner lot. It was a lot of house. And they got to a point where they could not afford it. And I'm not talking about where you lose a job. I'm talking about if you own a home, let's talk about it. Most of these homes, I think it's a trap. They're too expensive. Number one, we could talk about the price tag, period, point blank. Let's start with the price tag. Number two, we can go with homeowners insurance, homeowners insurance, flood insurance, HOA payments, taxes, school district taxes. You got to pay the price of owning a home after you purchase a home. And then I'm going to say this, Cinnamon, you better quit dropping down and up now. Stay still. I'm going to say this. All of that. I've also walked into homes where people passed away and their families have been evicted. If you do not have life insurance, first, in my opinion, don't purchase a home. If you do not have life insurance first, don't purchase a home. Let me tell you why. That's one step. Because if something were to happen to you and you don't even have life insurance, you've just set your family up for failure. I've walked into situations where I'm like, what happened here? Look, Nathan told me. And then who passed away? Because the neighbors will tell you everything. And what? And then the wife had to leave because one guy got hit by a motorcycle. okay, didn't recover, ended up passing away. The wife drank herself to death. Listen, when we walked up to that house, beautiful house in the country, one of them, y'all, you know how you have, when you go buy liquor and cases, and they get, like, if you want to buy it by the cases and you're throwing a big party, cases of Jack Daniels on the porch, empty bottles. Lady drank herself to death, not to death, but she could not afford the home. The husband did not leave her with life insurance to be able to cover it. So financial wellness. If you are thinking about purchasing a home, but you do not have life insurance, I think you're skipping a step. I think you are skipping a step if you are the primary homeowner, you and your spouse. You are skipping a step and you are setting your family up for financial failure. And that's where we fell, in my opinion, to build a legacy as a people and as a community. Because it does you no good to purchase that home, make those mortgage payments month to month to month, only for you to fall ill, not be able to work, become disabled, and have no type of insurance in play to be able to help you keep up the notes. What are your thoughts? That's the financial wellness tip of the day. Please, please heavily consider and do as much research as possible before purchasing a home. I walk into these situations every day, and I was telling my best friend, I said, damn, you can't even judge your level of success by who owns what no more, because a lot of people are robbing Peter to pay Paul, and this is not a judgment call, but I'm pretty sure if they knew that trying to own a home would cost this much, shit, they would probably say, hold up, not so fast before I sign that contract. I got to pay for what? I got to pay for this, that, and what if you lose your job? So another thing, do not buy a home based on two incomes. What does that mean? If you need your income plus your spouse's income just to make the monthly mortgage, I would caution you to look for a different home. Because what if your spouse loses their job? What if your spouse becomes sick, out of work, hurt themselves, not even workman's comp, but hurt themselves, not while at work, but let's just say on a weekend? I would say try not to buy a home if you don't have life insurance first, and try not to pick a home where you need both incomes to make the payment. Sharon, welcome. What are your thoughts on today's topic, the financial wellness tip? Yeah, the financial wellness tip.
Good morning, Queen Sheba in the palace. And you are 100% correct. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're 100% correct. A lot of people don't understand what it means to purchase a home. And one of them is if something happens to you, if you lose your job. I remember in the early 2000s, people, they were getting everybody, 2007 under George Bush, the second George Bush. His whole thing, his campaign was everybody deserve a home. So people went out to buy homes, and then that's when the mortgages people coming in to different people's homes, saying that how they can give you, you can refinance and all that stuff. And then you got people who went in, see they could afford purchase a home, and the mortgage company say, yes, you could purchase a home, and they felt that after you purchase a home, you can refinance right away. And when people did that, they found out they couldn't refinance because, first of all, they couldn't afford the home. So the mortgage companies was coming in illegal. I ain't say illegal. The mortgage companies gave these people hope that they could, and the people went and bought homes at $500,000, and they couldn't afford it. And some people won the case in court. They were able to keep the home. Some people didn't. That now, years later, we got the zombie mortgages came in. One of the things my sister was saying in Texas, Dallas, Texas, where J.R. Ewing and everything, where she worked at, all these people went by homes and they used two incomes, husband and wife income, full price, the full amount. And my sister was saying, what if one of you lose your job? What's gonna happen to you? Well, we can find another job. So there's some people just don't understand. But it's the life insurance policies.
Yeah.
I remember Oprah did. I remember Oprah did in the 90s.
Let me ask you this: do you have so? I want to keep it. Do you keep it on topic before we go down a rabbit hole? Do you carry life insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
okay,
yes.
That's good. PK Coco says my parents left crappy life insurance. Listen, y'all. If you don't have life insurance, to me, that would be the first step if you're considering purchasing a home. And you can also put a rider on top of your life insurance. What does that mean? If I become disabled, if I can't work due to A, B, C, D, my life insurance is going to pay for itself. It's not going to be canceled. I'm not going to miss my premium. I am not going to lose my policy. You can, I really caution you to not just be so uber excited about the desires of your own heart and getting caught up and being sold a dream within the American dream that you end up losing out on your sweat equity when it comes to your home. Y'all, they make it really hard. They do make it hard to afford homes, but you've got to know that. You've got to know what you're up against. It doesn't stop when you purchased a home. That's just the beginning. The upkeep, the HOA fees, the lawn. If anything goes wrong, you are responsible for paying it. So in addition to all of that, can you afford to keep these homes up based on one's salary? I'm not saying don't buy homes. I'm saying make sure you don't get tricked out of your spot, and make sure you are fully aware of what you are walking into when it comes to this. Because I walk into these homes and I told my husband, I said, damn, this is sad. Cinnamon Swirl. And y'all, let's try to keep our comments to 2 minutes because I want to make sure I get to everybody. Otherwise, I'm going to play the sad white man. Cinnamon Swirl, what are your thoughts? Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Can you hear? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. First of all, I want you to understand that the American dream did not include us. Therefore, you must be very diligent to do for your family, household. Don't keep up with the Joneses. The mortgage industry since 1988. I've been a writer since 1989. I to do FHA mortgages, Department of HUD. I'm approved to do VA mortgages, which is the Department of Veterans, so any veterans, active military. So I have the experience, and I'm telling you, I see so many of my people try to buy the biggest house that they can. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't worry about appearances. It's most important that you get your foot in the door, get used to making the mortgage payment, because as Queen Shiba said, the upkeep of a house can overtake you. You can buy a home, your roof can go bad, and yes, there are inspections done when you purchase a home, but a lot of times that roof may need to be repaired within 2 or 3 years. That's a major financial upgrade that you have to make to your house, up to, depending on your house and where you live, anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 and $30,000. So it's very expensive. Your hot water heater can go anytime. Very expensive. Anything can happen. And so people have to get in the right mindset that you are no longer a tenant where if something goes wrong, you can call the landlord and they will come and fix it. It is now your responsibility. And so I have counseled many of my friends throughout the years not to buy the most expensive things that they tell you can qualify for, because there are these additional costs that you're not used to. You're not used to maintaining a lawn. You're not used to the upkeep of a house. Many things can go wrong when you purchase a home, but the most important thing about buying a home is that 20, 30 years, you are still living in that home. It makes no sense to buy a home and 2 or 3, 5 years, you lose it. And one more thing I want to say quickly before I get off, because I don't want to take up all your time. Back in the year 2007, 2008, That's when the subprime market crashed. And the subprime market is what the government put together with the agency called Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to help, they say, to help people purchase homes who have less than stellar credit. It was an American nightmare for the people that look like us. During that time, 2007, 2008, 99% of the people who lost their home look like me and you. So I just want to say, take your time, make sure you can afford it. Don't go out there and get the biggest and best thing because you're trying to show up your family members. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
No, very informative information. Thank you. Cinnamon Sorrell has often been our financial guru here within the palace and behind the gates. And we also have Janine Gatewood, y'all, had did an extensive insurance conversation regarding coverage, homeowners, supplemental, everything. She's a licensed broker in many states. So if you are a member only, you can access that conversation behind the wall. Trust me, anything that we assess, we address, or we have addressed it behind the wall. So you have access to that information when it comes to the different type of insurance policies that you should consider, and not just life, but other type of policies. So thank you, Cinnamon, for sharing that information. Terry T. Baby says, can a person have too much insurance? Let me say this. Let me say it like this. I was once taught, if you're going to be poor, be insurance poor. And what that means is if you're going to spend money, and if it comes down to on shit that don't make a difference versus things that make a hell of a difference, then I'm going to purchase insurance. Okay. Now, on the other side of that, I think it's important to educate yourself on the coverage and how helpful it could be based on the circumstances and the situations it's supposed to cover. So know what you're purchasing and how to apply it in what situation. With that being said, let me go to my moderator really quick because I know she can't stay up too long. Toot Latrice, welcome.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Queen Sheba. Good morning, chat. I just wanted to piggyback just a little bit from Cinnamon Swirl. During the 2007 crisis with the interest rates and there was an organization called NACA, NACA.com is where you can find them. And NACA is in the business of helping to save homes, helping to get people into homes, as well as to, they're now doing cash out refinances. Their interest rates are normally a few numbers less than what the average is for the nation. And also, they're really big if you know people who are working, who have their bank account, that's living on Section 8 or have Section 8 benefits. NACA will also help ensure that those Section 8 benefits will transfer to your new mortgage because that's part of the program as well for Section 8. So if anyone is thinking, I know NACA has a big um, financing the dream thing that's happening in Tennessee this weekend. And a lot of people have a lot of good things that comes out of that. So if you're looking to refinance or you think you're about to lose your home, just reach out to them. They are a nonprofit organization and they do big and good and great things in the communities. And that's all I had to say, Queen.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up. Thank you so much. Dee Dee Sarb, welcome.
Hello, how are you all this morning? I'm
I am
so happy.
fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, but I'm happy you having this conversation because it's so needed. Um, just a little background on me. I have just purchased my second home. The first home we lived in for 18 years. When we bought the home, we were not educated on buying a home. First of all, we went and looked at the home, and the realtor who was showing the home, because we didn't have the knowledge of buying homes, she signed us to a contract that day. So we need to be educated on this. But we ended up staying. The home was okay and it was affordable, but they build. So my house, because we were newly married, I was in my 20s. I bought like $100,000 house. Down the street, they start building 450, 500 $100,000 homes. So even though my house was still affordable as far as mortgage is concerned, my taxes shot up every year, right? Because they were in our zip code. So it's like those type of things you don't know when you're buying a home a lot of times that can come up. So, and I've saw a lot of people because of gentrification, and I'm not going to go all into all of the stuff, but I just watch people lose their homes for tax reasons as well. And then those people come through, they know you're having problems paying your taxes every year, they will take your home. So I want to land with that, just to give some context. We do have to be educated on this because a lot of things we just don't know. And fortunately, I was able to sell my home and I moved out of state. But for some people, I saw a lot of people that lost their homes from my hometown. That's all.
Thank you for sharing, Dee Dee. I thought I was just talking. Uh, Let me read some of the comments and then I'm gonna come. Hold on. How important? Do y'all understand how important? Let me ask you this, and I want y'all to be completely real. When you purchase your home, did you have life insurance in play? Let's just start there. Yes or no? Not now, but when you first purchased your home, your first one, did you have life insurance in place?
You talking to me, DDC?
All of y'all. Mhm.
Oh, no, I did not. I didn't even know
Okay.
that I should.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did, Queen Sheba.
Okay, we got okay, and I did too. So y'all, that's and like Dee Dee said, she didn't even know. So Sharon, Cinnamon, and myself did have life insurance. Now here's where it gets tricky. I am sure that Sharon, Cinnamon, and myself, when we say we had life insurance, that it was probably through our corporations, through our jobs. I would recommend that you have something outside of your job because they can let you go too. And if and when they do, you lose all of that. I'm gonna come back to that. Savannah 912, welcome.
Good morning, Queen, and good morning, Palace. This is such a great conversation to have during coffee time on a Wednesday. I can tell you when my mom passed away 10 years ago, she taught us all a valuable lesson. We did not know that she had several life insurance and she had made all the decisions already as far as her will, her trust, and kept up on these policies and assigned one of my sisters as the executor. And the only decision that we needed to make was whether we wanted a police escort for her services. Everything else she had taken care of. So that taught us all a valuable lesson to get our affairs in order when it comes to our homes, our insurance policies, not just for us, but for our children as well. And so we myself and my sisters took the next, I would say, 4 to 6 months after her passing, and we reached out to we looked at our policies that we had with our employers. We bought outside those policies as well, and we made sure that our wills. Some of us didn't even have a will. If we had our unfortunate demise, what would happen to our family members once we were no longer the matriarch of our little squad? So I can tell when I was married, I had my homes with my husband at that time, but after the divorce, I lost all that, and I had to reinvent and reinvest. And it took me a few years, about 6 years, to save up and buy my own home. So I was by myself, a first-time home owner, and it was extremely scary and emotional because buying your home is the biggest financial decision that you can make, and it's also very emotional. But during the C19, there was that influx and scurry where homes, some doubled and even tripled in price. But I learned that if we buy a home in some of these places, in some of these areas that are not overly populated, in some of these states, you get more land and for your money. And it took a lot of research and speaking to the right people and listening, even going to some seminars at night. But I took a year and a half and did my homework and was able to buy my own home. And I bought it by a lake in the rural area of Virginia. So the city has now decided to build a water resort a few miles from my home. It's a $6 billion reconstruction that they're doing. So now my taxes are going up, but also my property value has gone up as well. So I look at it as being a good investment, and I need to go and speak with my investment company here and start planning on how this upgrade and development around me is going to benefit me and my family, and how it changes my policies as well. So it's all about doing your research and your homework and staying on top of your business, because once you're gone, your business becomes everybody else's business, and they will nit and pick at it like vultures.
I agree. And thank you for sharing that information, Savannah. Y'all, I want to elaborate off of something that Savannah said when she said it took her about a year to a year and a half to purchase her home because she was busy doing research. Listen, you are not going to miss anything that's meant for you. You're going to feel like if you're out there looking for a home and you're gonna be like, well, I really like this one. And if I don't get it now, because remember, be in the world, not of it. If there's a sense of urgency, you may want to slow down and pause. Speaking of, you can get that pause merchandise from queenshiba.com. If you feel a sense of urgency about making a purchase because you're excited and you think, I may not get this one, there's a lot of buyers. I would rather you miss that wave and get what's meant for you and something that you can afford in the long run and not be in jeopardy of losing it because of a rush and a hasty decision. Listen, I'm walking into these homes, y'all. People are, listen, let me tell you about these homes when you lose them. You think, oh, people will take care of my stuff like I do. No, ma'am. That's not how it works. I'm shocked to know they're going to let everything spoil in your refrigerator because now the bank has seized the property. They give you enough time to get your belongings out. After that, they seize the property, they secure the property. Anything in the property will remain there. Sometimes these homes remain vacant for years, months, days. It just depends on where you live. I walk in with like food is spoiled in the refrigerator. You can tell people like it's just they will not take care of your stuff. Okay. And then as we begin to come in as contractors, I don't touch anything because I don't want nobody's energy in mine. I don't need anything. But different contractors pilfer through your stuff. The food is spoiled. The plants are dead. Rodents start to get in, depending on how well you take care of your home. That's another thing, too, in the property preservation industry. I walk into homes and listen, people see all of your secrets. They know they can probably get a good feel for everything about you. That home that I went into yesterday, we secured it. We did a winterization. We did all of that. Capped the water lines, shut it off from the street, the main valves, all of that. Drained the hot water heater. That dude was in the middle of cutting his hair. Probably when those sheriffs came, or either he was just not clean. It was hair. You could tell he was just cutting his hair. It was still hair in the sink, y'all. The clippers were laid out on the thing. So it's crazy. And the stuff is still in the house. I can still smell it. Does that make sense? Is that crazy? the American dream. He worked so hard. They put so much money down. I knew where his wife's bathroom was with all of her toiletries, her hair irons, her, she used Tresemme. It is just crazy to me that we get caught up in this swirl of hypnotic rhythm that we cannot afford. Panel, what are your thoughts?
I'd like to say something first of all, Queen Sheba. If anyone that can hear my voice, if you're having a situation when you're about to lose your home, do not ignore the calls of your lender. At this time, because of C-19, they have put a lot of things in place to help you stay in your home. So based on what I'm hearing you say, Queen Sheba, the way that house looked, if those were the owners of that house that left the house like that, they were completely ignoring their lender, because that is a process. A foreclosure is a process. You get notifications over and over again. So it's not like an eviction where you don't pay your rent. I'm not even sure how long that takes. But it's not as quick as when someone rents. So hearing what you saw, either someone else lived in that house who was not the owner, and the owner did not tell them they were going to lose the house.
No, they were the owner. Let me say this.
They were the owners that lived in the house.
Hold on. They were the owner. And you're absolutely right, because there was notes on the door that said, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, we can help you with that. Please give me a call back about this payment, blah, blah, blah." They were the owners. You can, okay. Yeah, they were the owners.
Well, and I'm saying that because I had a good friend from 15 years ago. She was renting a home, and of course they have to send the mail because they think the owner lives. A lot of times a person will buy a house, but they don't change their occupancy, and the main reason for them doing that is because of insurance purposes. When your property goes from owner occupied to tenant or investment property, your premium skyrockets. So a lot of times people will own homes, they won't tell their hazard insurance company that they're now investors and there's renters there. So those people may still have not been the owner. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I had okay, because I'm just saying, I had a good friend that happened to, and the owner let the house go into foreclosure, but she started opening mail because she kept saying, "You have mail here," and then that's when she found out they were about to foreclose on the home. But if you own a home and you're in financial problems and you cannot pay your mortgage, talk to your lender. There are a lot of programs out there now. They did a very good job after COVID, where they have a lot of help for people. So don't just sit there and be afraid to pick up the phone. Talk to your lender, get help save your home. Don't let them come put you out. That was very avoidable because, like I said, they don't just knock on your door. There have been phone calls made, letters made, months and months of non-contact with the owner. So if you're in a situation where you cannot pay your mortgage, reach out to your lender, let them know, "I'm having problems, I need help," and they will send help for you. The worst thing you can do is to avoid those phone calls.
Then let me say this real quick before I go to DD Star. Also, know who you marry.
That too.
Okay, it ain't just like sometimes people are tricking us.
Amen.
Know who you marrying, because a lot of times these spouses are not paying these bills. Let me just keep it real. And they know, like one guy, this hasn't been my situation, but one thing that Melody taught in her class, one time she had to do an eviction, and she said you walked in, I don't know if the wife was cooking or whatever. First of all, when they put you out, y'all, it's like you don't know when they coming. We know when we're coming. And they're lined up like a block or two from your house because they have to wait for the sheriff to come. This is real life, okay? And they're going to move all your stuff to the curb or whatever the bank or the investor tells them to do. You have no choice but to get up out. But the situation that I'm talking about that Melody Cherie taught in her class is the husband was gambling off the money. DD Star, what are your thoughts regarding just everything we're talking about and just being evicted and living above your means and things of that nature?
First of all, this is one of those conversations I love to have, but also because growing up in a household where my family was always in financial ruin. So we moved every year, been evicted at different times. It really helps me to see as an adult the we really have to pay attention. And I grew up in a household where the man was not working and my mom struggled to try to keep the house afloat, and he spent up all the money. Next thing you know, we kids getting evicted. So it's very important to know all of those things, and especially when you put your children in a situation, because that's traumatized for life. And I can go on and with that, but getting back to the subject, also doing property preservation, I like yourself, Queen, I've seen it, been in those houses where you can tell they were not planning on leaving, but they didn't have a choice. So having this conversation, educating us this morning, we really need this conversation, because even if you think you got it all together, there's always more to learn. When you move in a city, like now, I live in a house, it's bigger than the house I had. Like someone was mentioning, keeping the house together, because you don't realize all of the things that need fixing, and the cost of fixing things sometimes is overwhelming. The neighborhood changes, um you know they do like the gentrification. It's so many things that come into play when you're buying a house. I even told my husband, we're getting older, we might scrap the house thing and go into senior living. That's how I'm feeling now, just because of the housing prices and how much it takes to care for your house. So I don't know if I got off subject. I'm listening, but I'm also working. So I'm sorry, Queen, if I got off
No,
subject.
you're fine. You're fine. I want to go to a different so I want to keep the conversation evolving. I saw a comment and I cannot find it. And Miss T, that's what she says. My ex wouldn't listen to me when I tried to tell him we were not ready to purchase a home. Basically, that's what she's saying. Listen, y'all, don't get tricked out of your spot in life by allowing the desires of your heart to cause you to be rash and to being, chasing the American dream. Because even if you can afford the house, can you afford all of the things that come with the house, the insurance, the life insurance, the flood insurance? Because you're screwed if you don't have yes, it's one thing to have homeowners insurance, but flood, hurricane insurance is completely different. You see what I'm saying? If the roof were to need repair, do you have $10,000 ready to go? You know what I'm saying? To minimum to repair a roof. Should you, if the water pipes burst. So it's not just about owning a home, it's also about maintaining the home. And the best way to maintain a home is to fix it every time something small happens. Don't say, oh, that's just a little child. I'll get to that. I'll wait. Fix the little things. It'll help to keep the big things away. But I just walk into these situations, and it's not just specific to Black people, neither, right? A lot of these homes, like I could, shit, white folks get the same. They get the same level of work when it comes to getting put out and things like that. In most cases with white people, it's because somebody has passed away and didn't keep up the premium on the insurance, and the wife didn't work and was not able to sustain the quality of living that her husband introduced her to. That's what I've seen out in the rural areas with these big, massive properties, and that the white people own the land. And I'm like, oh, they're about to lose this beautiful land. And you can tell the property didn't cost that much and the land didn't cost that much when they first purchased it, right? But they also didn't prepare for tomorrow because the premium or the mortgage was so low. We think we're here forever, but we're not. What are your thoughts, Savannah?
I completely agree with you, Queen. And just to piggyback off of some of the conversation, one of the things I learned during my research was that these loaning companies do want to work with you. The last thing they want to do is lose the property to the banks. So there are deferred payment plans, forbearance plans, but we definitely need to get over sometimes our own ego, and work with them, and they will definitely work with you to make sure you don't lose that property and set up whatever payment. As long as you're a willing participant in the solution, they will definitely work with you. I can tell you, during my divorce, I signed over one of our biggest contentions in the divorce was our home, and we both were battling for the rights of our home. But I signed over I ended up walking away from the property, and I signed it over to my ex-spouse. And I'm trying to recall what it was. What the document was called. But once that was signed and I was able to achieve my divorce, about 2 years later, I was contacted by the IRS that there was some taxes and some items owed on that property. But I had to prove to the banks and work with Wells Fargo, prove to the bank and the government that I signed my rights over to that property, and I was no longer financially responsible for anything on that property. So that deferred me, and I wasn't aware. I thought I did everything that the courts told me to do during the divorce. I just wanted it over and done with. So I signed over my rights and didn't do my homework and hold the other party responsible to make sure that he completed the process, and in clearing me financially responsible for anything on that property. And come to find out, he did not clear me at that time. And 2 years later, I found out that I was almost $12,000 in taxes responsible for this property. And it took me a good year to prove to the courts and the bank that I was not legally responsible. So we definitely, especially during a divorce, I'm one now. I tell everyone, CYA, save every paper and ask questions. Do your research, do your homework, and even if you and the other party are not in good terms, make sure that your affairs are all separated and legally separated so that you're not responsible for anything once you walk away.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. CYA, cover your ass. That's what that means. Cover your ass. Yeah. You know what? You'd be like, no, I don't want to walk into my marriage like that. I don't. Keep copies. Keep copies, because you just don't know, like in that type of situation, which is why I said know who you're married to, because there's some examples of where spouses just did not pay the bills because they had something else that was that was uh, that was more of a priority in their lives, whether it be shopping, addiction, gambling, drugs, alcohol, shit that women don't even know about, that sometimes, or vice versa. But PK Coco says, my parents left crappy life insurance. So listen, you can purchase your own insurance, y'all, on your parents. Okay. You can purchase your own insurance on your parents where you are the premium owner and they are the covered one. For those of you that are tuned in and listening, you know, when it comes to, because we all have to leave this earth. The question is, what are you leaving your family financially? You know, how much debt, you know, because they're going to miss you and it's going to be an emotional thing. But financially, are you leaving them a burden of having to gather their items and leave a home before the constable gets there and put them out? So you have to think about those kind of things. And if you, let's just say you cannot afford life insurance, then call your kids over, call your family members over and say, listen, y'all go ahead and get some coverage on me and I'll be more than happy to sign, and you're responsible for the premium. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you take care of this house and A, B, C, D. And I don't think we have enough of those conversations when it comes to our community. So most definitely don't just depend on what your parents are leaving you. You can also purchase your own life insurance on your parents, you know, if it's important to you to be able to take care of their property and what they have. Miss T, I read this one already, says my ex would not listen to me when I tried to tell him we were not ready. Where did that leave you, Miss T? What was the outcome of that? The Aquarius said it's too late for some of us. I don't know. Aquarius 1982, too late for some of us. Ooh, that feels like prison to me. You know what I mean? That means you have no choice. You have no financial power in the relationship. And come what may, that puts you in a position, to me, to be a victim of losing your home. That means somebody, there is no cohesiveness of when you said it's too late for some of us. That means somebody has all of the power in the relationship instead of it being a collaborative effort. Let me say something else. And panel, Sharon, I want to get your thoughts. If you dating somebody and y'all live together, I don't care whether you're married or not. If you have kids with somebody, you should have a policy on them. Because otherwise, they are leaving you and vice versa. And you are leaving them in financial turmoil should something happen. What are your thoughts on that specifically, Sharon?
Me too.
Yes. Susan Orman always said that when she on her show. If people who are not married and you have kids, you should both have life insurance policy on each other. If the man is not in the life of the child, you still should have a life insurance policy on him. For you, have life insurance policy on your daughter, but have somebody else or your child, or have a will who gonna be the guardian of the money of that account. And to piggyback on your parents, your elderly parents' life insurance policy, people forget one thing. Your parents have life insurance policy in their 20s, the 30s, and 40s. It's probably in their older years. Somehow they let it lapse or whatever might happen. Those conversations need to be had for some of the people who family need that conversation. Some some older parents, they have a life insurance policy, but they cannot afford to keep it up because now they're getting older to get, the more it costs. So all the adult children need to chip in and that policy to keep it up. So you get heads up a little bit.
Yeah, I got my own. I ain't chipping in with nobody.
No, I mean your parents' life insurance policy. Your parents have a life
No, you
insurance
can get your
policy.
own now. You don't even
And
got to chip in.
no,
You
I
can
mean
get your own.
I know your own, but some parents, some people parents, they were retired, and somehow the older you get, your insurance policy your premiums go higher and higher. But they want to keep that policy because it's a healthy one. And sometimes some parents, I know one lady, her all adult children chipped in with that policy to make sure it stays stable. It stayed there, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't believe in chipping in. Let me tell you why. Because niggas act a damn fool over money. That's why I believe in owning your own policy. Now, I'm not gonna say what Sharon is saying is wrong, but I'm just telling you to minimize any distraction, any conflict, any this and that. If you can afford a policy on your parents or yourself, do it. Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. I do believe that not only I'm pick back some more stuff. You have to be careful when you go for another job. Some companies will buy your house and then you move to that job. Just be careful with that too as well. Do some research on that as well, because there are people who get to that job, stay for 2 or 3 years, and lose that job. Now they're out of a house.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Themes 308, I think that was it. Yeah, it says that having a house is a blessing. I agree. Having a home that you can afford is absolutely a blessing. But if it came down from me personally, just walking into these homes, y'all, that I see, and I was like, this is so sad. Like, they hype you up to purchase this and get this good job to buy this, and you can lose it in 90 days should life happen, right? Listen, a home could also be a nice apartment that you can afford. That's all I'm saying, just based on what I'm walking into and how quickly life can change because people live above their means. I want to read something real quick. The mortgage should be no more than 1/3 of a person's monthly income. Let me teach you how to break it down. Take out your calculator really quick. I'm going to show you, y'all. Take out your calculator. If you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, I want you to sum it all up after taxes. Go ahead and put it in your calculator really quick. Don't say it out loud. Whatever total you have, minus 25%. That's what your mortgage or your rent is supposed to be at. If you're well above that, you are living above your means. That's the 1/3. I often say 25%. They've boosted up to 30%. That's because we're very aspirational when it comes to material things. A house is not an investment unless it's paid off. Until then, it is a liability because you don't own it until you've paid it off. Based on just that comment, what are your thoughts? Let me go to Cinnamon.
Yep, it's a liability until you pay it off. The Latin meaning of mortgage means death, actually. But I would tell people, really do your homework before you buy a home. It's a lifetime investment. It's a place where you will lay your head down. Don't rush to anything. Count the cost of everything. It's very important. And when you count that cost, everything, so that calculation you just gave, Queen Sheba, so there are different qualifying ratios depending on the loan program that they put you in. So for the average conventional loan, 2836. But when we do those calculations, that's based on just your gross income, not net. So therefore, a lot of people, they just don't qualify for homes. They think they can, but they can't. So take your time. I would tell people the first thing to do, if you're serious about buying a home, get rid of your debt. Make your main focus to be making your mortgage payment. So if you get rid of your car note and your credit cards, that's going to put you in a better financial situation. You can concentrate on making that mortgage payment and saving for a rainy day, for when that roof leaks, when that water heater breaks down, anything that happens in your home, your refrigerator breaks down, you are now responsible for all of that. So I would tell people, pay off your debt first before you purchase a home. Pay off all your debt. That is one thing I did. And like I said, I've been in the business for so long, it doesn't even matter anymore. But when the current home that I live in, I purchased it 23 years ago. Before I purchased my home, I paid off all my debt. That was all of my expenses, was my home. And I encourage people to do it that way. And don't keep up with the Joneses, and stop trying to buy a new car every 5 years once you have that car loan paid off. It's about making a priority. What's more important to you, to look good or to really have wealth?
All right. Great advice. Thank you so much, Cinnamon. And she is a financial expert in this field, in the mortgage industry, y'all, period. She's an underwriter, y'all. I'm just, it's not to discourage you, because I'd rather say this to you based on my experience in real life. And let me tell you something. They are about to close. They are about to push through those court orders. If you have a home and that you purchased and you were extended a relief plan through COVID and you ain't made good on it, they are about to throw the book. They are about to enforce all of those contracts, and at the end of the year. You see what I'm saying? So if this applies to you, go ahead and pick up the phone and call your lender. But the government is about to make good on their word, and they're about to start foreclosing on even more homes, right? Because of COVID, they offered second chance programs and they gave relief, but now they're spinning the block, and they're going to make good on that. They're going to make good on that, and they're going to start putting people out and evicting people from these properties. This is not a conversation to scare you, but this is a conversation to enlighten you. And typically we would move on from this segment of the show, but it's just been so good. And I'm gonna go to you, Dee Dee. I'm gonna read this one. Dear Yvette says, I have had 4 deaths in my family recently, and only one of them had a policy, and the other three did. I tell my family that are dealing with street men, get them policies for those children. Be smart. Listen, I don't know why anybody, I'm sorry. Life insurance policies are not that expensive. They are not. I don't care if you only get a $10,000 policy. It's better than nothing. They are not as expensive as you think they are. There's no reason not to have one based on the days that we're living in and the money that we splurge on things that do not add value to our legacy when it comes to financial freedom and leaving something for our children to be able to have a better future. Dee Dee, in my opinion, if I'm having kids with you, married or baby mama or baby daddy, and ladies, this works too. In the opposite direction, he should be able to have one on you. See, now, if y'all start having those kind of conversations before people start having kids, niggas would be like, hold on, wait a minute, I may not be ready. You cannot be ready to have kids with somebody and not ready for them to have a policy on you. That don't make no sense to me, but it's funny too. Dee Dee, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree. And when we think about it now, it's been said that those people that go into the music industry, they get life insurance policies on these rappers. So if they're doing that, we definitely need to do it in the Black community when we're having children with someone, because anything can happen. And a lot of times, families are left with nothing to fall back on. And so I think it's very important. And I wanted to say one thing to what Cinnamon was saying. When I sold my house, that was the first thing I did with the money. We paid up all our cars, so we have no car loans. We paid off all of our debt, and before we moved into our new house. So I agree with what Cinnamon said as well. I just wanted to make that statement.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Dee Dee. Jenny B says my dad stressed to us right after they got married that they should have their first child and buy a home. She said, I'm so glad we didn't listen and waited 6 years for a beautiful, affordable home. Listen, don't let nobody else dictate your financial freedom, because when you have kids, you have the one, they're gonna be like, when you having another, you buy a house, oh, when y'all upgrading, it ain't never enough. And that's what I'm saying. Don't get caught up in the hypnotic rhythm. It's not that people don't want the best for you. It is so important, like Jenny B says, baby, to create your own speed and ride your own wave, because people are losing these homes. And the way it's set up, y'all, they make it so difficult to afford them. And I think it was Cinnamon that said, shit, it was never written for us anyway. When these bylaws and rules were developed and put in place, they were not considering you that are tuned in. They were not considering the likes of me, because we didn't even have the freedoms and the rights during that time, right? This was a good old boy game. You know what I'm saying? So, and half of the homes that we can't afford, we don't want them because they're not the newest, the shiniest, the brightest. So I would rather own an older home in a nice neighborhood than a new home that's well, and most of these new homes are not worth it. Let me just say that. What are your thoughts, Savannah?
I completely agree, Queen. When I purchased my home, I didn't want the cookie cutter new communities with all these amenities that they charge you extra for on top of your mortgages. HOA fee is almost as much as your mortgage in some cases. So I did, like I said, I did my homework and I moved away. Out of the city. The farther you go, the more you get for your money. But just to piggyback off some of the conversation, even when there's opportunities to build wealth, for even if it's first generation, in the minority households, there's so many other factors that come into play where there could be student loan debt or caring for our parents, or we have family members that are not in stable situations where we might have to step in and contribute sometimes. So all those things could play a factor into our decisions as a potential homeowner. But I've always thought that financial planning should be a class taught beginning in high school, so that when we go into college, during those 4 years, we're very reckless. And the 20s are the time that we make those dumb mistakes and bump our heads and don't do things to financially secure ourselves. For our 30s is our learning time. But by the age of 40, you should have a plan in place to be able to build, start saving, and and paying yourself honestly, and staying instead of paying someone else. I believe if you can afford a $2,000 rent, then you can also afford a home where you're paying yourself and not paying somebody else's pocket. So it is about closing gaps and doing some homework, looking at your funds and not living outside of your means. I think we in the minority communities, we do a disservice to ourselves sometimes because of that. I just had this conversation over the weekend with a group of women, that if we look at these reality shows, and we see that they have been given an opportunity on a platform, but some of these players or actors or whatever they um, are still on these shows 10, 15 years later and have not used the platform to build something for themselves or their family or their community. It's a shame how we continue not investing in ourselves and taking care of uh, leaving something behind for our children, and we're still chasing this almighty dream or dollar. I'm not sure what it is, but we had to have the shinest, newest, biggest everything, instead of being okay. I tell everyone my $60 purse from TJ Maxx carries the same thing as your $500 purse. So it's all about changing our mindset and how we look at dollar and investing in ourselves.
I agree. Thank you for sharing, y'all. This has been a very enlightening conversation, and it just organically took it morphed into a dialogue of its own. And I had every intention of moving on, but I wanted to bring that to the table today and to the palace because yesterday I was just shooketh. And not that I haven't been shooketh before, because I've seen other. You know what's crazy though? I could still I could smell really good. I could still smell some of those people in those houses. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, I always tell my husband, the people that didn't want to leave, I can always smell their scent. I know that's just my thing. I say you could tell they don't want to leave because their sin is still here. You know, their sin is still here after all of this vacancy. You know, and I don't know. It's just a sad. It's just, and I thought, man, if it were me, you know, if I knew them what I know now, I would still do what we did. We purchased a home on one income. That is, do what you want, but that to me, um, that's probably a really good move for a first-time homeowner, for a first-time buyer, purchasing a home on one income. Sharon, I think you wanted to say something real quick.
That's what we did. We were told we can get a $400,000 house, right? So my husband was getting out the military at the time, and I had a transfer. So I looked at him. I told him we weren't gonna do fixed, not negotiable. But I told him we're gonna do one income, and we cut it in half of what they said we can afford. And from there, we see where we going to look at. From the top was like 200,000 and below, and we see anything there, a flipper or whatever you want to call it. That's what we did, and I feel more comfortable doing that. You'd be surprised how many, like Susan Orman said when she was on Oprah show, they will tell you can afford that house. They don't care if you're able to pay your first mortgage on a house. And when I would do my research on buying homes, and again 5 years because he was in the military, and he got last 5 years left in the military. When I got the book called was it dummies buying home dummies, and in the first chapter or something in that chapter it says it's stated that when you go buy a car, they tell you what you cannot afford. When you buy a house, they won't tell you what you can't afford.
Yeah.
They can't tell you what you can't afford. And I met a woman who she had a child. She was in a relationship. She thought she was in a relationship. She found out that he was seeing 3 other women. So she found out she was pregnant because she was like, she was in a steady relationship. But when she found out he was cheating, then she found out she was pregnant. As the baby was born, she made sure she got life insurance policy on him, $500,000 life insurance policy, and she moved on her life. 3 years later, he died, right? And do you not know those 3 women? I don't know how they found out, but those 3 women trying to sue her for the $500,000 life insurance policy.
Please just get out of my face.
And then the attorney.
First of all, hold on, because we're going down the rabbit hole. I want to make sure. Hold on. Let me. First of all, they cannot. Listen. Let me tell you something. If you are the policy holder, that's yours. And to everybody that's listening, to everybody that's tuned in, everybody on, you are the policy holder. Can nobody? They tried to sue her. She said they tried. But let me just tell y'all. If you own a policy, if you are a policy owner of anybody that you living with and you laying up next to, first of all, ask them if you don't have insurance. You know what? Don't do this if you're not ready for the truth now. Don't do this if you are not ready for the truth. Say, hey, babe, I am going to, and do it in your way. Don't do it in my way. Don't do it in Queen Sheba way. Say, we've been together, we don't have life insurance, so I'm gonna start looking for policies. I'm gonna get one on you, and you can get one on me, and I'll be financially responsible. If he or she hesitates and have a negative reaction to that, that should tell you a lot.
Yeah,
it should tell you a lot about the mofo you laying next to that don't want to see you be financially stable should they pass. What are your thoughts on that, Dee Star?
Yes, get rid of him ASAP, because that says a lot about him. And we don't have that conversation quick enough. We do all the other stuff, and then we find out too late that we should have had that conversation. So yes, that should be way before having children, even moving in together, anything. If it's going serious, we need to have that conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, if somebody don't, and y'all in love, and y'all are cohabitating, and they say, nah, you ain't getting nothing on me. Whoa. And I'm over here helping to pay bills or contributing to the household and raising these kids. And talking about that as, what is it, taboo or jinxy? Okay. But you know what's even jinxier? You leaving this earth and us getting put out. So test that theory. Don't do it until you're ready. Because some of you may get your feelings hurt. And we're not trying to set up nobody for failure. But if your person, be it a woman or man, is not comfortable with you getting a policy, that should tell you a lot about the mindset, their mindset around preparing for whatever it is. And I know a lot of people don't like to have that conversation, and that's the problem. We are living in poverty because we don't want to talk about it. What are your thoughts, Savannah?
Oh, Queen. This is the one piece that I'm actually, and I am in therapy about, because I've had this conversation with my partner. I've been in a dating relationship for about 10 years. And we've had the conversation about having policies on each other. No.
Okay, that's different now. Let me ask you this. Is it different that y'all live apart as opposed together?
Correct. And we do not live together. We have the home here in Virginia, and then an apartment some in North Carolina. But we have equal say. However, I do not accept a dime of financial support from my partner. And that is something, because I was financially ruined with my divorce. I have not been able to overcome the that giving that someone power or just say so in anything. But I mean, when we go out, he's a perfect gentleman. He's opens the doors, and I don't have to worry about anything. But as far as him contributing to the house or giving me anything, I just don't accept it. It's been one of the topic that brings friction in our relationship, and that's something that I'm dealing with. So we've
I
talked
want
about having
the
policies on
audience
each other,
follow.
but I don't accept financial support.
I want to bring it back because I want to make sure we're following you. When it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
topic of financial insurance, not financial insurance. Yeah, no, not financial, life insurance with somebody that you
Mm-hmm.
are in coupleship with. And what are your thoughts on that? Whether you're married or not, is that something that should be in place or something that should not be in place? Just your thoughts on that specifically.
I agree. It should be in place. And we've had this conversation because if I am no longer here on this earth, he knows how important it is for me to make sure that my family is taken care of and where everything is at. He knows where all my policies are, the safe and everything. So it is something in a conversation that should be had with someone who you're very serious about in a committed relationship, whether you're married or not. That should be a conversation
Okay,
that should
I got a
take place.
two-fold question. No. Does he give you the same freedom and rights to access his policy should something? So he knows where all your stuff is, right? Is he the policy owner,
Mhm.
or you just say, hey, my stuff is in this and this and that, should something happen?
He is not the policy owner, but he knows where everything is located. I am and
Okay.
vice versa. I am not the policy owner, but I know where all his items are.
Okay. Are you a beneficiary? Are you?
On one, yes. On one,
Okay. Is
yes.
he?
No.
I know that's right. Hold on. That was a test. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah.
No.
Cinnamon swirl. What are your thoughts?
I believe that yes, you should insure that person. If you're in relationship with them, whether they live with you or not, if you're in a long-term relationship, you should have insurance on each other. And if anybody opposes to it, you need to find out what is the reason for that and move accordingly.
Oh, short and sweet. I want to pile on to what Cinnamon said, and then Dee Dee Star, I want to get your thoughts. Let me tell y'all something about the importance of marriage. I don't care how long you have been together with a person, how long y'all have a house, how long y'all have been whatever, whatever, whatever. If you are not married, they can come put you out. You better believe it. And I've seen it done. I've seen it done. Couples that have been together years and years and years, they've never gotten married. They pledged their love to each other in other ways, alternative ways, holistic ways, whatever you want to call it. But because there was no formal contract of marriage, I've seen kids come up in that mouthful and say, you got to get out. We never liked you anyway. I've seen mamas snatch cell phones out of the woman's hand that have taken care of their sons. My son was paying for this. Listen, what are your thoughts on that, Edie?
Look, it is a known fact. I've seen all of that happen, and they will put you out. They love you before, but once he gone, you mean nothing. It's a lot of times it happens. And then the because of the woman don't have anything in place, all she can do is just get her things and leave. And it's a sad situation. So we have to protect ourselves. I've been married for a long time, but for those who are not married, please get your affairs in order. But even when you're married a long time, because like with my husband, we have the conversation. He has a daughter that's by someone else. We have to put things in effect, because what if something happens and then she can come up against me and try to take more, you know, because that's just what happens. Not that she can get it, but she can try, and it just calls for a headache. So we really have to put our affairs in order, married or not, and make sure that everybody's on the same page, because you don't want that devastating day to come and you have no options.
I agree. Y'all, it's a cold game out here. I told you when my grandpa did. I don't know if y'all remember that live where I told y'all that move, that bust a move my grandpa made in his final hour of death. Y'all, revoked power of attorney from his wife of 55 years, left her nothing. She was not my grandmother. It was a woman he cheated on my grandmother with, ended up divorcing my grandmother, married this woman. And because she cheated with him while he was married to my grandmother, my grandpa old school, he deemed women like that cannot be trusted. None of us had an idea. At the end, my aunt in the hospital room had a paper, whipped it out, announced herself as power of attorney. My grandpa, unbeknownst to anybody else, was working with one of my aunts, his favorite daughter. Oh, listen, a cold world, baby, to say who got what land, what house, who, listen, left the wife out the will and everything. So that's why I say know who you are married to. Welcome the second board. It's a cold-hearted conversation, but we got to do it. What are your thoughts?
This is an excellent conversation. Man, I've been listening from the bushes, enjoying every gem dropped. I just want to add this in terms of your home ownership. The previous caller a while back, and it may have been you, Queen Sheba, that said to purchase with one income and don't let all of your expenses be more than 25% of your total household or your total income. Totally agree. Totally agree. What we do in our household at the top of every year, we revisit all of our insurance policies, just all of our whole financial portfolio, and have that conversation with our kids. This is where you find this. This is what you have access to. This is what you don't have access to. These are our wishes. This is where you find our burial insurance. You are beneficiaries on the bank account, so that way you don't have to wait for probate to go through to get out any money that you need to take care of things if we pass away. And then the other thing that we do every time my husband and I go out of town, we make sure our kids have a list of who to contact, where to contact, how to contact in case something happens to us and we don't make it back home. And I think that's very important to have that conversation with your children. With our granddaughter, and instead of buying her lavish birthday gifts, we buy her an additional insurance policy on every birthday. And so that way, by the time she's 18, she will be walking into wealth and not, behind the curve. So if she wants to use the money to pay for her college tuition, she can. If she wants to use it to buy, some rental property, she can. But she'll be well set up by the time she's 18. The other thing we do for my granddaughter is I have a credit card that I don't use other than to just pay our utility bills, just to keep the credit score going and active. I've added my granddaughter on that credit card. So at 5 years old, she already has an 800 credit score. Again, by the time she's 18, she will walk in with stellar credit and resources. Her insurance policies literally total up, because again, she's only 5, $123 a month. We spend that going to Taco Bell if it's a family of 10, So so just, small pennies, and they're not huge policies, Each year we just buy another, $25,000 policy. Her milestone years, when she turns 10, when she turns 13, when she turns 16, we'll buy bigger policies for her. But she'll have a few $100,000 by the time she's 18. And all we've done is spent, like I said, $123 a month for her.
That's not bad.
But it's been since birth. So have those conversations with your children, your grandchildren. When you go to the bank, take them to the bank with you. Let them meet your banker. When you meet with your wealth planner and your financial planner, have your children listen in on those conversations. When you play, like what we used to do, I did with my daughter, When we played Monopoly, we turned those into life lessons so that, now she's 31. She has a couple of investment properties. She lives with us. We want her to live with us so that way she can, buy more investment properties so that if anything happens to us or anything happens to her daughter is going to be okay. So let's have those conversations. And you don't have to start big. Our house is the smallest house on the block intentionally because our home has just as much equity as the big house on the corner. We wouldn't buy the biggest house on the block. It makes no sense for me financially. So great conversation. I had to pop in. I love this conversation. I'm gonna pop back down into the bushes, but
Oh, thank you
kudos
for
to
coming
you.
out the bushes and sharing. We appreciate it. You heard it here first from the Estet Noir. Not only can you set yourselves up for financial freedom, but start setting those young babies up. And I know some of you said, well, child, mine, I can't trust them. That's why she said you train a child in the way that they should go. If you start them early and start exposing them to different things that you do early, they'll go in the right direction most times. And if you do not trust, let's just say you're in a situation, Janai, and you're up next, where you have a lot of accumulation and you have worked hard for what you have, but you got some knuckleheads, right? You got some kids. I'm sorry, unfortunately, sometimes we cannot dictate or predict the future of our children. You got some that will be financially irresponsible. Set up a third-party trust, baby. There ain't no age limit on what you can do and say with your money for your kids. If you got one hard head that will smoke the whole policy through, right? Then set up a third-party trust, because if they're a minor and you leave that money to them, guess who has access to it first? Their parents. If it's grandkids or whomever, even if it's a minor child, some adult. So if you do not want another adult to dictate and to have access to your hard work, have a will in place and set up a third-party trust. That's somebody that don't have feelings for either you or your grandkid or your child, and they'll be able to have reign over those financial whatever it is that you leave them. Janine, welcome. What are your thoughts about today's conversation?
Like I want to put some money in the collection plate this morning. This has been I'm serious. I'm always catching you either when I'm driving or at work. So I'm actually up here. I had to go to court this morning, right? On my way to the courthouse for a ticket. And I just need to prove to them that I had paid for parking, yada, yada, yada. But I'm driving and I'm like trying to answer and I'm like, amen. But the things that you bring to this platform, Queen Sheba, girl, it is so valuable. The ladies that come up, so knowledgeable. The ladies that come up in their vulnerability, I want to applaud you guys too. Like you coming up and you asking. And I want to say this, trust God, trust what you hear in your spirit, and ask for help. You got this and you can do this. Keep coming back here, getting these golden nuggets. Learn some things on your own and bring some golden nuggets here. I promise you, this is like, you don't get this everywhere. And I am blessed to be surrounded by women that I get so much value from, that I just get fed from, and I also feed. And that's just in my personal life. It hasn't always been that way because, some infiltrators can get in, you can get hurt, but that's par for the course. Earlier when I was in the house getting dressed prior to running out the door, I heard someone talking about losing the home when they were younger and moving around a lot. That was my story with my mom and her husband, which wasn't any of our father. He lost our house, and it was devastating. And from that, my mother was like, she would never buy another house again. And da 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 da. Today is my mom's birthday, actually. And she passed away a couple of years ago. But I honor my mom and I love my mom because she loved us, and we know that. But from that, it kind of like made me feel like when I had kids, I didn't want to move. I wasn't moving them around. I've stayed in places longer than I should have
Mm.
because of that trauma. You know what I mean? And I had to fight through so much, and I'm still at 62 years old, still fighting for my independence and my freedom, because I feel like sometimes it's a
Hold on, what
spirit
independence and what
that
freedom?
be on
Hold on,
you.
wait, because I want to make sure we're following. What independence and what freedom are you fighting for?
Financial independence,
Oh, gotcha.
financial freedom, financial independence and freedom to be able to choose, to be able to give back to communities, that because you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So I'm fighting to be a multi-millionaire because there's so much in me that I want to give back. You know what I mean? And it either is my knowledge, my time, or my money. So these conversations are key. Yes, have your life insurance policy. Yes, help the next generation start out the gate with generational wealth instead of generational debt. Take those children and teach them. Sometimes it's not going to be taught in schools because, as someone also said, you might have, this wasn't initially for us. We were somebody else's property
Yep,
as
cinnamon said that.
African Americans. Okay. And even as women, no matter the ethnicity, was still someone else's property. Thank God that we didn't grow up through, in it and still in it, because we do have choices. So let's exercise our choices by making sure our finances are in order. Stop.
Amen.
I read something the other day that said, stop financing your clothes.
Mm.
Like the young lady said, my TJ Maxx bag carry the same items in it that 5,500, and if you can afford it, so be it.
So if you could
So
give
be
them one
it.
tip, what would you give them? What would you say?
If I could get on one what?
One tip, what would you say? Think about it.
My tip would be, do what you need to do to secure your financial future and the future of your children and your grandchildren. Period.
I love it. Y'all heard it. And Janine is our insurance expert. She has a class behind the palace gates. If you have not been able to access that, please go look at that video. If you remember, you have access to that. And you can also reach out to her personally if you need coverage. Y'all, supplemental coverage. Supplemental is an addition to medical. Should you hurt yourself, you get paid while being off. This is not workman's comp. We're talking everything we have put behind the wall. We ain't just here for nothing. We ain't just here for nothing. So thank you, Janine, for coming up.
Amen. I'm going to log off and go into the courtroom. I love you,
Okay.
ladies. Keep up
All
the
right.
amazing work. God bless you.
All right. Good luck. I see a lot of you were saying that you were taking notes, and I'm about to come to you, Deborah. Listen, all you have to do is here. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, first of all, you need life. And I would recommend that you get a life insurance policy on both owners. Anybody that's contributing to the home. Hey, listen, wait a minute, because we're going to do all this and do all that. We need to have life insurance in play for these kids, for you if something happened to me, and me if something happened to you. Now, let me tell you how this works. Let me tell you how life insurance works. I'm gonna give you something now. I'm gonna give you something. If y'all break up, and if you still making that policy, you can keep that coverage. That's all I'm gonna say. Deborah, if y'all decide to part ways, get a divorce, break up, you're no longer in love, but you got kids, baby mama, baby daddy, as long as you make that payment, you own that policy. So, okay, Queen Sheba, how long should I get it? 10 years? The man told me to get it 5. If you're in your 30s and 20s, get it as long as possible. If they have a 20-year term, get a 20-year term if you can. I think that's the longest they'll go for the 20s and 30s, okay? Deborah, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Good morning, everyone. I agree about the life insurance. I would say, if possible, get enough coverage to pay your mortgage off, to replace an income, I would say for at minimum 5 years. If you have kids, enough insurance to cover them until they're grown, and then possibly college, if you have not had a set aside money for college expenses. That would be my advice. Another thing is, teach your children as young as you can about budgeting. My mother used to make me sit down with her, and I did not want to do it. She made me sit down with her at the table and write out checks. She signed them, but I had to write out the check for, you know, for the rent, groceries, whatever it was. I had to write the checks out for it. She sent me to the store with a signed check. I had to grocery shop. And then when the bank statement came in every month, I had to go through the statement and check off everything to make sure all those checks cleared. So, and I appreciate her for doing that now that I'm grown, you know, and she's no longer here. So I do remember those life lessons. I will be adding, I had a conversation with my daughter about adding my oldest grandchild to my credit cards when she turns 13 next year. I have excellent credit. I'm not even going to tell her that it's being added. So my daughter approved of that. So I think that's a great idea too. And I also, last thing I want to say is you may not have learned those lessons early, but start now. It's not too late to start making better financial decisions, and definitely get your life insurance. Queen Sheba, I just wanted to say yesterday, I made some changes to my life insurance policy. Now I have a New York life insurance policy, thanks to you.
Yes. Okay, let me
Yeah,
pause here. Hold on.
mhm,
You have,
mhm. I'm sorry.
say that again. You have who?
New York life.
Hold on, y'all.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, I
Pause.
switched my policy to New York life.
Hold
And what
on.
I did do,
Let me tell them what that means, though, Deborah, because you know that means. I know what that means,
mhm,
but they don't know what that means. Y'all, that is a company that I highly recommend. New York
mhm,
Life has the best insurance policies, in my opinion. They're extremely affordable, and you can get up to $500,000 for $30, $40 a month, depending on your
mhm,
age. If you're younger, it's much cheaper. Now, with New York Life, they also want to do that blood work because they're going to say, wait a
mhm.
minute, the best policies, but they also want to come out and get your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and all of that to make sure you qualify. That's the only thing. I know a lot of these companies, you ain't got to do none of that. You can get a $20,000, $30,000 policy, but with New York Life, you can get way more for cheaper. But they're gonna run them. They're gonna run your labs. They're gonna run your blood work. Go ahead, Deborah.
They absolutely did. Ran mine at 5 o'clock in the morning.
They
That was the best time for the nurse and I. We came up with that schedule. 5 o'clock in the morning, I was laying on my
Yep.
couch getting my vitals taken.
Yes,
So,
they will come to your
so
house.
yep, they came to my house, so everything worked out there. So yeah, so I just encourage you all. I'm in my 60s. I just turned 61 in May, so I'm looking at everything, like redoing my will. I just signed my medical directive with Kaiser. So I'm putting things in order. My daughter's the only child. I'm trying to make things as easy as possible for her, just like they were made for me. There was no stress when my mother and father passed. So everything worked out well. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Just encourage you to get started. This is a great conversation, much needed, and I hope everybody was able to take away something from it. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to drop back down.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up to share. I love New York Life. I see some of you in the chat are saying that y'all have New York Life policies as well. Whomever you decide to go with, make sure they are a reputable insurance company. A friend of mine when she learned that I was on New York Life, I was like, yeah, I'll let my broker call you. I got nothing for that, right? When he called her, whomever sold her policy to her, she thought she had a $200,000 policy, y'all, and was paying like $100 and some dollars a month. Guess how much that policy actually was? $10,000. $10,000. So make sure you are dealing with a reputable company and a reputable broker, and that you ask questions up front. Don't just take them for face value when they say, oh, I can give you a $500,000 policy for this and this. Ask questions. Show me right here. What are the parameters of this? And then also see if you can get another agent to check it, to fact check it. No, I'm not, Tennessee girl. No, I'm not. I put my friends up on game. The second thing I want to say, so make sure it's a reputable company, which is why I love New York Life. They've been around for a long time. And I look, as long as you pay on time, you're good to go. The other thing I would probably advise you to do, let me see if I can remember my thought. I can't. Cinnamon Sorrel. Let me go to y'all while I think. Cinnamon Sorrel, what are your final thoughts on everything we've been talking about today?
Well, I want to say when I get off this call, I'm going to call New York Life because me and was that Miss Deborah that just dropped down.
Uh-huh.
We're in the same age group, and so I'm going to give them a call today. So thank you. I'm glad she came up and said that. I'm gonna look into New York Life myself. This is an excellent conversation. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. And one thing we can say is that we gain some knowledge when we join in anything that has to do with Queen Sheba and the palace. So I really appreciate you, Queen. Um, Insurance, I grew up, when I can remember as a young child, my mother always speaking about life insurance, life insurance, life insurance. And so I tell my children the same thing. Do not have life insurance just um, by your employment. Have an outside policy because, like you said, when you leave that job, you lose that insurance. So you should always have your own policy outside of your employment. Also, another thing I encourage people to do is don't make monthly payments. Pay your premiums in 12 months or even 6 months at a time. I think monthly, I think if you pay it ahead, it's better for you in case you run into a crunch. So try to get into the mindset of paying your insurance premiums either every 6 months or once a year.
Right.
Give up some things. Give up some things so you can do that. Sometimes, it's not all about, as a Black community, we have the less wealth, but we're the one we spend the most. We're the biggest consumers with the less wealth. So we're so busy trying to have the best hairstyles and the lashes and the eyebrows done and all the makeup and the jewelry and the designer bags and shoes and everything. But in the long run, is that important? You can't take any of that with you. So stop trying to look rich, but be rich in your mindset. Let your mindset be rich.
All
And
right.
so that's my takeaway. Change your
Thank you.
mindset.
That was excellent advice. And what she means, y'all, by paying your premium, when you call to work with that agent, whether it's New York Life, they probably, if you don't ask the right questions, so pause them. If they taking you too fast and they're going to say, oh, this is what your premium would look like monthly. Say, what would it look like every 3 months? What would it look like every 6 months? Or if I wanted to pay it all today, what would it look like? The younger you are, the cheaper it is. Some of you in your 30s, it may be $300 for the whole year. And you say, you know what, I'm going to pay that. I'm going to pay that right now, as opposed to $26 a month, and you times that by 12. I don't know. But ask those kind of questions. That's what she's encouraging you to do when she says, you don't have to necessarily do monthly payments. Ask them, okay, if I paid that quarterly is every 3 months. No, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just using the terminology and explaining just in case somebody does not know. Ask them about quarterly payments, 6-month payments, or annual payments. Get it automatically deducted. If it's between 20 to 50 bucks, go ahead and automatically deduct that. You spend that anyway. You won't even miss it. They'll be taking it out. You won't even know. You good to go. Now, let me say this before I go to the next panelist. If you are dating someone, if you're in a serious relationship, if you are married, you need to look at your partner today and say, do you have insurance on your mama? Do you have insurance on your daddy, the people that you say you love so much? And if they say no, say, oh, hell no. You need to get insurance on them. Let me tell you why. You don't need to get insurance on them, but they need to get insurance on their parents. Guess why? Because you, as their partner, if anything happens to their parents, you will have to contribute financially. Ain't nobody got time for that. Savannah, what are your thoughts?
I am too busy writing down all these gems that are being distributed this morning. I'm loving this conversation. Final thoughts is at an early age, teach our children that the value of money and as a tool and not a toy. I know with my grandbaby, she's 8, but we started around the age of 6 to teaching her about when we go to the store and purchasing and looking for sales and bargains and the importance of money and saving. And she doesn't like spending her own money. She'd rather spend your money, but not hers. So, but teaching them at a young age, setting them up for success. I know when my 2 turned 15, I told them, I'm here to take care of your needs. Now, your wants, you're going to need to go get a job. And that's what they did. They took care of their wants. They both went out and got a job at the age of 15. As they grow older, try not to rush your children out of the home at the age of 18, and help them, set them up for financial success by, if they can go to if they go to school close to home, it saves on dorm fees. They can live at home as long as they're working and, you know, contributing something, but you can set them up easy. They're not going to be tied down to massive debts of student loans if they go to the local schools closely, community college, and work, and if you can help pay for school as well. But we also have to be a source of financial education. Setting our kids know when we're stressed about things, so we also have to be smart about how we spend our money and invest in ourselves and in our household. So lots of great nuggets and knowledge sharing across the board this morning. And I'm so glad that I clicked in and partake in this conversation. So thank you, Queen.
Absolutely. Thank you for contributing and just sharing as a panelist. Thank you so much. Sharon, what are your final thoughts for today's conversation?
Thank you for this topic. I think that people really need to do the research, buy the books, basically buying a home from dummies, really open your eyes. One thing they tell you, they're not going to tell you what you cannot afford buying a home, but you do need to understand the different types of mortgages of a home. They will put you in a home and have you in different mortgages that you don't understand. Take your time, pick what kind of lifestyle you want. You want to buy a home, that means you are the main person doing the upkeep of the home with the total cost of keeping a home. Do you want a condo or do you want to stay in an apartment? Look at your lifestyle. And last, I would say, get out of debt. And you decided to purchase a home before you buy a home. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Savannah, Cinnamon Swirl, Deborah Valentine, Yasette Noir, Dee Dee Star. Who else was up here? Oh, there was a lot of people up here today. Oh my gosh. Charge it to my head and not my heart. Oh, to Latrice. There was somebody else up here that came up. I forgot. I'm so sorry, but thank you all for participating in today's conversation. I appreciate, Cinnamon Swirl, thank you too. I appreciate everybody for just coming up and sharing. Y'all, this was a hell of a conversation. I'm for real. And just the final tips we leave you with is if they're good enough for you to cohabitat with, they should be good enough for you to step into financial freedom with and begin to have those shouldn't even be a tough conversation, but it can be tough for our communities because we have not been conditioned to think along those lines, right? We have not. And we tend to put a wall up and we tend to be resistant. We tend to not trust. And if you can't trust somebody you sleeping with and living with to manage a policy, then what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? So those are conversations that should be lined up this week if you haven't had them already with your family, including your spouse, and making sure that they have their parents covered. And don't just go for the okie doke. Oh, my mama have her own policy. Yeah, but you're going to be fighting over that policy and what to do with it based on who's the beneficiary that your mom has put down. And that's kind of rude to go to your mom and say, Mama, who's in charge of your insurance policy if something happened? So you know what? To avoid all of that, my recommendation is to get your own. My recommendation is to get your own. It ain't got to be a lot, but it's enough. Because what you don't want to do is put that burden on your partner, your spouse, to come up with money when you and your family could have simply planned. Okay? We have not because we ask not. And my people perish for lack of knowledge. Well, you got the knowledge today. So it'd be really nice if you take the step forward and begin to put some things into play. You don't have to get a policy today. You can make a call today and say, what am I eligible for? I am 34 years old. I'm 38 years old. I'm 57. I'm 62. As long as you're breathing, somebody's going to cover you. Even if you have comorbid conditions, you have to be honest on the policy. Don't lie. Because if it's a good and reputable company, when they come to your house to do the blood work, they're going to know anyway. When they do your profile and they assess your medical history, they're going to see. They're going to see the prescription meds. So go ahead and be completely upfront first so that they can rank you according to you being transparent and upfront, and they can really tell you what you qualify for. And it establishes a relationship of trust between you and the carrier. So don't be lying now on the policies, and then they find out otherwise, because they can refuse to cover you and or refuse to give out funds to your family should they find out that you were dishonest. They call that insurance fraud. So we don't want to promote that here. Tennessee Girl says, I'm getting my life all the way together thanks to you. Thank you so much, Queen Sheba. Absolutely. And I don't want to overwhelm y'all today. Next, we're going to talk again. We're going to bring Janine back. We're going to talk about supplemental health insurance. What is that? I'll tell you another day. I'll tell you another day. It's just so much knowledge that we have here in the palace. Dee Sar says, do not get the ARM mortgage. I don't even know what that means. It sounds like something that reaches further than you do. You know what that is, Cinnamon?
Answer that, Queen Sheba.
What is ARM mortgage? ARM, A-R-M.
It's an adjustable rate mortgage.
Oh.
So, right. So they have like a 1 year ARM, which means your interest rate will adjust every year. And right now, if you have a 1 year ARM, you are in trouble because the interest rates are high. And the feds have increased the rates almost every time they meet, which has been, I think, 3 times this year. So, yes, ARMs are very dangerous, and they promote ARMs when the fixed rate market is high, like it currently is. What the lenders will do, they promote the adjustable rate mortgages, and so your mortgage payment will adjust every year, and it's based on the market. So the current market is going up, so you can count on your mortgage payment going up. It's not a good tool for certain. It's only for a certain level of client. Most people it is not a good fit for. So stay away from any adjustable rate mortgages.
All right, you heard it. And you know what? My cousin was telling me she saw a TikTok where this girl says, I don't want the American dream no more. She had an adjustable rate mortgage where her mortgage started off at like $1,500 and shot all the way up to like close to the sum of $7,000. She said, I don't want the house no more. It's beautiful. I don't care. I just want to go back to normal living. You know what? When you get hit by natural disasters, hurricane, floods, that in addition to like these adjustable rate mortgages, you start to realize I really don't need that much. I really have more than I can handle when it comes to finances, clothes, tangible items, belongings, because all that shit gets left behind. Should one day we find ourselves in a position where we can't afford our dwelling. So it's been a really good conversation. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. All Things Possible 40 says, Queen, thank you for offering your platform to help others. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Terry T Baby said, off topic, has anyone ever dealt with squatters? I haven't. And I don't see why people put up with them, because I will bring every animal that I could find. If you refuse to leave my house and you're squatting in my house, I'm letting in pit bulls, hyenas, donkeys, birds, monkeys, cats, everything, because it's my property. Savannah, Cinnamon, I'm bringing every animal I can find.
I think I have a quick solution for a squatter. So when they leave the house, change the locks. You're not obligated to give them new keys to the house. They go to work, they go out, change them locks. Now, the law is different in every state and every county. I know in Virginia, once somebody lives with you for 30 days, they have rights, and you have to give them a 30-day notice. But when they leave and you change those locks, you do not have to give them a key. So if they come back and get back in, good luck.
That's good information. The luxury bucket list says, unfortunately, you can't do that. Watch me. I'm in Texas. I'm gonna bring in everything. You know, people scared of animals anyway. Baby, I'm letting them in through the windows, the crawl space, the roof. I'm bringing them down through the fireplace, the chimney. Yes, Savannah. What are your thoughts? Squatters, have you
Yeah.
had any experience with that, Savannah? No, I haven't. I don't think Savannah has either. She's on mute.
Oh no,
Listen.
I apologize, Queen. I didn't have a squatter, but I had a horrible renter that destroyed my home. And when it was time to get them evicted, and I was able, they actually left the property on Christmas Day. I did not know. They ended up leaving my keys at a Panera Bread in another city. I had to go get the keys from Panera. They just handed them over to the counter checker young lady, and gave her my phone number. I didn't know who they were or what, but they called me. I had to go pick up my keys. I got access to my home. Over $10,000 worth of damage done to the property. And when it was time to seek legal action, they filed bankruptcy. So my lawyer said it would cost me more to fight the case than I would be able to get from from the renter. And they were a military family. And I couldn't go after him as far as military using JAG or using military means, but I ended up losing a lot with this renter. It was a nightmare.
Wow. $10,000. Did your homeowner's insurance cover it? Real quick before we end.
It covered some, yes, ma'am, because they allowed their children to stuff toys down the garden tub, which had pipe damage, and so it covered some of it. I think I came out of pocket like maybe under 4,000 for some other items. No, it wasn't too bad, but just seeing my property destroyed the way, holes in the walls, and not just regular like doorknob holes. This was like they took a bat or something as heavy as aluminum bat, punctures to the walls. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It was bad.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous that somebody that you would allow to live in your home would do that. So no good deed goes unpunished. I don't care how many rights a squatter have. First of all, you are a squatter. You don't have any rights to me. And if you are in my home and you don't want to leave, I already told y'all, I'm bringing in every animal. I'm letting pit bulls through the gate, bunny rabbits, coyotes, you name it, I'll claim it, honey. You're going to get up out of here one way or the other. And Miss Island Duncan says, this is Texas. Ain't no hold 'em. You better believe it. You better believe it. The luxury bucket says Texas at least will support you. They do, because they don't like that kind of stuff. Now, they're not going to support, I don't know the right to Texas, but it happens. It has happened. Start bringing some of them wildlife up in there. But anyhow, that was a question about squatters. 41 Fitz says, good morning, Queen Palace, Guards, and Palace. Love to you all. Love to you too. Have a good day. Have a good day. Simone, you can't do that, Simone. Simone says, shit, I bring Pookie, Ray Ray, and Big Shirley to deal with the squatters. Girl, get them animals, because most people are scared of animals anyway. Start letting them animals in there. They get the packing and the moving real quick. Y'all think I'm lying. I'm dead ass serious. I will bring every animal that I'm not afraid of up in there. Yeah. I don't care if it sounds cruel. Stop taking over people's property. You don't have no rights to me. If it's somebody's property that you've overtook by way of manipulation, force, and you're using the law to terrorize somebody else because you haven't planned your life accordingly. No. I know. See? Yeah. I know it sounds mean, but guess what? Somebody taking over your property and not paying you and not getting out is equally mean. Dee Dee wants to know the best life insurance, the best policy. The best insurance. Dee Dee, check out the video behind the wall. We thank you, Jenny B, for your super sticker. She came through with a 5-piece, y'all. She says, thank you so much, Queen Sheba and panel, for your gems. Greatly appreciated these topics. You are welcome. Cheryl the Pearl says she and her husband wrote letters and sealed them. We told our children if something happened to us, go straight to the letter. Direction is there for you. I love that. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Daryl Long, Simp God says, I want to be married in 18 months. That's me and my woman goal. Well, listen, we want to make sure that you get those policies in order if y'all going to get married. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home, it's important to set each other up as well as your children, your lineage, your bloodline for financial freedom. Make sure you have those policies in place. Jenny B says, set up third-party trust. Haven't heard about this tip. Thank you. Absolutely. Because you just don't know sometimes how your family would act. So when it comes to them kids and those trust funds, yeah, set up a third party. Fames 308. The question should really be for us to see if we can afford the house on one income. That should be the first step, I think, in assessing the market value, as well as the 1/3 rule, 25%. I just told you how to do the math. Whatever you bring home weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly, minus 25%. That is probably the most you should be allotting to your mortgage and or your rent. If you are paying more than that, let me just caution you, you're probably living outside of your means. In the words of Dave Ramsey, you got too much house. You got too much house. Love seen and heard. Dee Star says, and no one is there to help a lot of times when we get in trouble. You better believe it. Financial, pick up the phone and say, I can't make my rent. I can't make my mortgage. Can you help a sister out? Can you help a brother out, baby? And tell me what happens. Last but not least, Miss T says, get the policy early. I got stuck with sickly siblings and couldn't get policies. Y'all should be making a call today. If you're in your 20s and 30s, you should be making a call today, whether you were married or not. That's $25 a month, if that. And that's on a large policy. You can get $100,000 probably for about $13, $14 and New York Life, but they're gonna want that blood work. They're gonna want to see what you're working with by way of your health. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hell of a conversation. God bless you all and have a fantastic Wednesday.